Hey guys, Sandy Ridge from Sandy's Guitars here, and yeah, I got a brand new video for you, and this is a first. So this is actually the first time I've ever done an update on one of the Gear Up videos that I did. And it just so happens I'm doing an update on the very first Gear Up video that I did way back, I believe it was in June or something, with the band Vague Intent. At the time, I caught up with them before a show at the Dominion House. Now, Noel and all the folks in the band, they were really fun. It was a great time. They ran me through all their gear. They showed me all their equipment. And yeah, I've been keeping track of their musical endeavors, and they've been keeping track of mine. Perfect time for some shameless self-promotion. If you like what you're hearing, if you want to be a part of a future episode, leave me a comment, click the subscribe button. You'd be helping me out a lot. And also, check out all Vague Intent social media. I'll be leaving a link in the description. Anyway, yeah, Noel got a hold of me about a week ago and said, hey, I've done some new stuff to my pedal board. I'd love to do an updated video for you. And I said, heck yeah, let's see it. So anyway, here's Noel with some updates to his pedal board. Again, Noel is the lead guitarist for Vague Intent, lead guitarist and lead vocalist. So yeah, take it away, Noel.
Hi everybody, Noel from Vague Intent here. Over the summer, Sandy had my band on for what was the first Gear Up video that he did. And we went over some of the tips and tricks and things that we're using to put on our stage show. So, as the rhythm guitar player, my rig was at that point fairly simple. I'm still ampless. I'm using the Tonex infrastructure for my amp sounds, and it's absolutely phenomenal. But there are things that I don't like about it. I'm not a fan of their noise gate. I'm not a fan of their reverb. I have pedals that do the job a little bit better. My problem was I'm out of output spots on my power supply. So I had to come up with a bit of a solution to be able to do the different things that I wanted to do with things that I already had on hand. Before I went ampless, I was a big user of a Line 6 product called the M13. And what the M13 is, it's a Stompbox modeler with 12 different effects that you can have on it, and 4 of them running at the same time. So I've changed up my board a little bit, and I just wanted to kind of give you a Gear Up update on how things are working. So I'm going to flip the camera, and I'm going to go through 2 different boards for you. I call one more of my utility board, and one is more my effects. So this is my standard pedal board as you'd be used to seeing. I do want to mention this setup is a little bit more complicated than a lot of other people would run. I'm actually running 2 different effects loops at this setup. So I'll kind of go through everything, go through my chain, and hopefully it all makes sense. So it starts with my wah pedal. So my input, whether it is my wireless gear or if I'm deciding to go corded for that show, comes into my wah pedal. I then take a signal out of the wah pedal and I bring it over to this guy here. So this is the M13. This piece of gear has been around for about 20 years. I used it pretty exclusively in a band that I used to be in, and it provided all of my effects. So it was an absolutely phenomenal piece of gear. But for me, it's going to pull a little bit of double duty for me. So one of the beauties about this particular board is you can set the effects loop to come after any one of the rows of effects that you have running. So in my particular instance, I have it set to insert the effects loop right in the middle. So the way I'm running is my wah comes into the M13. I'm then using, I don't know if you can see that, but in my first slot, I'm using an always-on graphic EQ. Because this piece of gear is specifically for guitar players, the frequencies are straight up what you would expect to see to EQ guitar. So I've cut a couple different things just to take some muddiness out of it. I do some drop tune stuff, so I do have a slight boost in the low end, but that's mainly because also I use Fender products for my guitars, and I just need something that gives it a little bit more lows and mids. I then come out through the effects chain in the M13 itself to a sustainer compressor, and that's just to give me a little bit more of a sustained note. It's a very, very subtle effect, but I definitely know when it's not on, and I've been missing having that in my chain. I then come out of the M13 using its effects send, and I come back to my main board. So from my main board, I come into my tuner, just your standard Polytune Mini, nothing particularly special there. I come out of the Polytune Mini, and I come down here to my drop pedal. Because we're a cover band, we use 4 tunings in a night. I'm starting to get a little lazy, and if I can do everything off of one guitar in a night, then that's my preferred mode. So I play a standard tuned guitar, and I use this to switch between that and my tuned E flat stuff. And if I need drop D or drop C sharp, I just drop that low E. From there, I go and feed the EHX silencer noise gate. And this noise gate is absolutely phenomenal for a number of reasons, not the least of which is it has its own effects loop. So Tonex does have a noise gate in its circuitry. I just don't like it. I find it a little too harsh. So what I've done is I've taken my Tonex, and for my Tonex, I'll just kind of flip back to here. I've named all of these particular settings, but my clean tone is based on a Dumble boutique amp. My mid gain, or my dirty, is based on an Orange 120, and then my high gain is actually a Soldano SL100, which for our high gain and punk stuff is absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't be happier with that sound. So the Tonex feeds directly into the noise gate on its own circuit. So it comes out of the noise gate into the input of the Tonex, out of the Tonex into the return of the noise gate, and then the noise gate comes back out into the M13. And what the M13 is doing at this point is it's giving me my mod effects. So it's in essence placing the mod effects into the effects loop of a normal amplifier. So I do have a couple of different delays that I have set up, and I can run one or the other at any given time. If I want the delay off, I just hit that button again, and it turns that particular bank off, as you can kind of see there. And I'll just turn that back on. And then for my actual mods, I still don't use a ton, but I did want to have a little bit more of a bit of a variety. The band is going to be writing some new material shortly, and I wanted to have maximum flexibility. But what I'll use by far is this button here, which is my chorus. I'm also a fan of tremolo, so it's got an optical tremolo there. And then my third setting there is a phaser, which is just based on your MXR phase pedal. So just a kind of basic few different modulations there. It then comes out of the output of the M13 back into the effects board. I'm using a Flamma reverb pedal, which I absolutely love. For it being inexpensive, it was absolutely wonderful for me. Again, I prefer it to the reverb pedal or the reverb effect that is available on the Tonex. So I'm using that exclusively as an always-on pedal. that feeds this DI box here, and that DI box I can choose to either go to the front of house and feed the PA for front of house for their mix, or I can turn the cab simulator off on Tonex and I can feed a line from the DI box into the effects return on my tube amp and use my tube amp on stage if there's some reason the sound guy would prefer to have that than to have us directly feed the PA. We all use in-ears in Vague Intent, so having this directly feed the front of house is not a problem. We split our signals on stage and feed our own in-ear mixer, so I can hear myself absolutely fine, and it's a wonderful setup. So I hope that is a little bit interesting. It's a bit of a bizarre setup, I agree, but for me, necessity became the mother of invention, and this way I'm able to have all of the pedals that I want to use, and I didn't have to go out and spend another $300 on a new power supply to make everything fit. So because I'm also the vocalist in the band, clearly these are kind of together a little bit more than they would be on stage, but I will have the effects board with my Tonex and drop pedal to the right of my mic stand and the M13 to the left, because it's not used very often. It's more of an always on kind of thing unless I'm using my chorus effect. So hopefully that is interesting, and comment on the video that Sandy's gonna put up here, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have about this truly bizarre setup. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.
Noel, buddy, that was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, and I learned a lot, and I think a lot of other folks learned a lot as well. One of my takeaways that I saw from that video is, for guitarists who are watching, you really need to pay attention. You may have noticed that one of the things that Noel did was he made sure that his pedal board could be used with either a tube amp or going directly into the house PA system. That's something, the more that you gig, you're gonna have to do. Yeah, it got a little complicated, but having that versatility is really necessary and will probably win him a few gigs as well. Now, I did catch up with Noel before I started filming this, and it turns out that they're going on a bit of a hiatus for the winter months, but still keep track of their social media. I know they do a lot of online shows, and they're actually working towards having their first full EP of original music that's going to be coming out in the spring. So you really want to check them out to check that out. I'm personally looking forward to the songs, guys. I can't wait to hear them. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed catching up with Noel and the rest of the folks at Vague Intent just as much as I have. So please like and subscribe to watch more videos just like this one, and check out Vague Intent's social media, which again I'll leave in the description for this video. And again, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter. That's the other one. Okay, please like and subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Take care.